Hey friends, today I'm going to go about a little bit of a departure than what I normally do, but today I wanted to talk about the national parks. And the reason why is I'm such a huge, passionate um, uh, lover of the national parks. And when I talk about it, there's so many people that have misunderstandings or they just don't know what's available. And I just find that such a shame. And I wish it was more popular. I wish more people knew about it because they're just amazing. This is a book I bought and I take it with me on all my road trips. It's the complete guide, and it has over 400 properties that are managed by the national parks. When most people think of the national parks, they're thinking the Grand Canyon and Yosemite and all these beautiful places, but they're also popular. But there's so many that are fantastic that nobody even knows about, and there's just some of the most beautiful land and quiet places and places of great historical value and importance that most people don't realize they can go see. And so, but of the 400 property, and in this book I wanted to tell you, inside they have, they separated by, all of the national parks are separated by regions. And there's usually a map kind of explaining the different regions. And then they kind of tell you place by place, by region, what the significance is of that particular park and what there is to do. So for some of the more outdoorsy people, there's trails and camping, and the other places are just more historical things, and you can visit someone's home or things like that. And they kind of tell you what's there, what the hours are, where to find it, and what to expect. So I have found that to be very helpful on my trip. If you're just starting out and you have little kids, a fantastic program that most people don't know about is the Junior Ranger program. And they even sell like the hats, the famous national park hats, and they have the little vests. And on the vest you can collect patches and pins of the different places that you've been to. And those are always really fun. They usually have these, if it's a participant in the Junior Ranger program, they have these booklets, and these are full of like educational and interesting items to keep them busy and help them learn about where they've been. And I think it would be fun if you had a little to save all these and kind of see some of the places that they've been. For teachers and for homeschool people, or just people that have like rainy day, kids, fussing with each other, you can actually download these and print them off at home. And so if you read a book as a family about a particular area, you could download the booklet and learn about it. Now, when you go to the national park itself, and I'm not 100% about this because we don't participate in this program, but you visit with the park rangers and they give you some questions. And if you fill out those questions, then you get the stamp afterwards. And so, but you have to answer the questions. Somebody got real upset because one of their kids was little and they didn't answer. No, you got to answer all the questions. And so apparently they're going to be persnickety about that. And I think I saw somebody get sworn in as a Junior Ranger. They raised their hand and promised to take care of the national parks, and it was a really cute program. So, but anyway, what I participate in is the stamp program. It's called the Passport program. And this is a traditional passport that you can buy at almost all of the national park gift shops available. And this right here, it's separated. It gives you the map. These are really handy. It gives you the map of the different regions, and they're color coded, and it tells you which region is what. And you can kind of tell as you flip through the edge, you can see they're sorted. I'll probably tell it better this way. They're sorted by the different regions. And so if you're in a particular area, you can look in all that regions. And then when you open it up in the back, it'll tell you what the different parks are in that area. And then they'll tell you a little bit about it. And then there's a place to put what says a regional stamp here. Now, I found this a little confusing because when I'm thinking stamp, I'm thinking the passport stamp. What they're referring to here is a sticker, not a stamp. And so, because if you stamped this, it would show through. And I wish they'd have changed their terminology. So I found that a little confusing. But I guess I'm easily confused. But anyway, you put the regional stamp here, and then just like in an international passport, when you go somewhere, it tells you where you were, and it'll put the date on there. And I thought, oh, well, that's fun. And I don't even know if there's room for all of them in this program. I really don't know. Because I quickly found out that mine was filling up, because what I wasn't aware of is that some locations have more than one stamp. One in particular that I went to was a national battlefield. I want to say Stony Ridge in Tennessee, Murfreesboro. Not 100% if I'm right about that. But not only is it a national battlefield, but it was also where the Trail of Tears was located, and it was also part of the Underground Railroad. And so there were 3 official stamps for that one place. There were 3 stamps, but just one official that went in the spot. And so I was having trouble cramming these all in. And so what I quickly started using is this passport book. And what I liked about this one is that it had all these blank pages in the back for extra cancellations. And even after I bought it, I still had no idea how many extra cancellations there were. And I have pretty much run out of room, and I am not done. I still have a lot of places in this region to go to. And had I known, I would have been a little bit more judicious with my space. If you're going to collect all of 217, you need to be like putting them together by space. And so they also had another option that was a 3-ring binder, and it had like a little zippy case. And I don't like spending money, and I don't like carrying stuff. You know, I'm not much of a collector. It's my family's surprised that I collect this. I'm kind of like want to get rid of everything and live in a van and be on about my merry way. I don't like lots of stuff, but I do love my stamps. So the 3-ring binder you can add pages to. And that's the big advantage of that. Even though it's bigger, you can add pages. Now, I'm going to get some washi tape and add some cardstock, and so I'll make it work for me. But if I could go back in time and change it all, which we all know we can't, that's what I would have done differently. And another thing that I didn't understand, and I'm not sure if I'm the only person on planet Earth that didn't get this, but maybe somebody else had this problem too. When you go to, especially the popular places, I know Smoky Mountains had this, some of the places in Washington had this, you could buy a stamp of the place. I'm like, oh, there's my regional sticker, which they call a stamp. And so I was putting some of these in my book. Well, come to find out, that was not what I was supposed to do. You can sell they do sell the regional stamps separately, but they always have the color stripe on them. They'll have the year on them. And I did not know that. You can also, if you're trying to collect all of them, which you by no means have to, but this kind of messed me up because I had some of mine in the wrong place. You can, and starting in 1986, let me flip back to this page, they started making these sticker series. And here's one. Here's an example of one I haven't put in yet. This is the sticker series, and there's one for each region. And right here in the middle, there is the national sticker of the year. And there's always just kind of this odd space in the middle, so that's not really a collectible sticker usually. But, so this is where, see, and I got some of these in the wrong places because I thought it was, because you can buy them separately, and I didn't realize at the time that these are the stickers that go for the year in the front of the book. I didn't twig on to that, and so you can see I'm missing a few of my years. But, and so I've kind of messed up some of my books, and I like everything just so, and it stressed me out a little bit, but there's not much I can do about it. So, but you can buy these. They start in 1986, I think, and they run through 2021. After 2021, since, I'm such a person of importance, I'm surprised they haven't called me to tell me whether or not they're doing another program. I'm imagining that I'm imagining that they probably will have another program, another series of stamps or stickers. But there's one for each region, and there's a spot for it in each book where you can get the stamp. And then this is the national one. And so if you collect every one from 86 to 2021, you'll have all your sticker spots filled. When you go to certain national parks, most of them will have the current year, unless it's a little bitty place. Most of them will have the current year. The bigger places will have the older years. And so, I try not, they're only $5 a page, but we have 2 albums. And so $10 for every year, that starts to get kind of expensive, and I didn't want to get them all at once. And so every time I go, I try to grab some of the years that I'm missing. But there's a website called eparks.com where you can order the past booklets, the past series, and you can order those through them. And and part of the monies go back to support the national parks, which is important to me. I like that they support the park. It's from the parks themselves. And so if you don't want to go piecemeal, or you're just missing a particular year, you can go back and order those. The older ones, I try to get I got the current year, then I'd go back and get the older ones as I found them, so they don't sell out, because I'm worried that I'm not going to have all of them. So, but anyway, so there is the badges, the pins that you can collect. They have cute little coffee cups, magnets. So I encourage you to get something from each national park. It's neat to have a little collection. I just did the stickers. They also have, I want to give a shout out to the bookstores, because they usually have regional interests. And my son's a big reader like I am, and I have not yet walked out of a national park without buying a book or two. My son's really interested in mythology, and he's really interested in world religions and things like that. And so we're always picking up little books, and they're about regional things. And so when we're driving around, he'll read about what is topical to that particular area. And so we have probably 9 million of these laying around our house. So if you're a hiker, I know that there's a particular hiking program, and there's a thing called a medallion that pushes, it's like a push pin that's roundish, that fits on a walking stick. And so I've seen people that collect the medallions that are big hikers and campers, and they try to, there are some people that are trying to hike all the national parks that have a hiking system. And so I know REI has a great app, like a phone app. And there's a couple of other ones, and then you can, if you're going to a particular area, there's usually regional ones. So when you're taking a trip to an area, it doesn't hurt to pull those up. But the most useful one I have found is an app called the Passport app. And when you open it up, it looks just like this when you open it up. But you can do a search by state or by name, and then, like, let's say I just went to New Mexico. I pick in a place where I'm at, and then there's a map, and you can click nearby me. And while you're traveling, it'll show you the stamp locations. It only does the stamp ones, but it'll show you the stamp locations in the Passport program that are nearby you. So when you're traveling, it'll help you map it. And like sometimes there'll be a location, but that's not where the visitor center is. So sometimes it'll show 3 or 4 locations. Look for the VC for visitor center, because that's where you get the cancellation stamp, and that's where you get the gift shop in the video. There's usually a video that's about 20 minutes long, 15, 20 minutes, and they're always very informative. Some of them are a little dated, could be used to be updated, but some of them are fabulous. But every single one of them, I've learned something. And even though before we take a trip, I spend a lot of time researching where I'm going, the history of the area. I put a lot of effort into our trips to know what I'm doing and what I'm going to be doing, and what I'm going to be photographing. I'm trying to photograph all the national parks, and I do research on what there is to photograph there. And every time I go, I learn something that I had no idea. So it's just very fascinating. Now, I did mention on the series, there's always this kind of random spot. It's usually this sticker that's there, and that's just kind of a space filler. But every now and then, and I think I've thrown some of these away because I didn't know what to do with them, and now I'm like, oh, I wish I'd have saved that. Here's a couple of my favorites I have saved, and I think what I'm going to do with them is I think I'm going to put them inside my cover because they're just so cool. This one right here was the 20th anniversary of the Passport program. I thought that was really cool. It has the year on it, and that's just I'll give it to you anyway. Might as well save it. And this one is their marketing program, and it's Find Your Park, and you see this all over on their national parks. And so I love this. I love that one. And so that's just some ideas on what to do. I really hope you go out and visit your national parks, support them, give donations, be a very good steward of their land, follow the rules. Like my dog, he can go with me on certain hikes, and some hikes he can't go, and I get very frustrated. Nobody loves their dog more than I do, but I will not take my dog, and that's a whole other tirade on why you don't bring animals where they don't need to be. It's not safe for the park. So you make arrangements, and you follow the rules, and you take care of your park. Keep it clean, keep it safe, so everybody can enjoy it. Donate and promote your national parks, and go out there and find your park.